The next one I will be demonstrating is the Crossbody Traveler. It has slip pockets, cell phone pockets, covered slip pocket, zipper pocket, and a large iPad pocket. Plus on the inside it has a large pocket that's divided into 6 sections for various things that you would keep inside your purse. Here's another kind of pocket that I'm going to build on this purse. This is a double slip pocket. It actually has separations in this lower end, and then the upper end is the full width of the bag. It's made with one piece of fabric that's lined, and then it's bound. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I have my 2 pieces of fabric that are the same size, and one is got interfacing on the back of it. And then I have binding strips here that I'm going to include in the seam when I go ahead and sew these 2 pieces together. One thing that I found when I made my first bag was that if you have something that's sort of directional and you want them all to be going the same way, you're going to need to put this panel opposite of this panel. So I'm looking at this big flower motif here, and then finding it over here, and it's kind of pointing up there, and it's kind of pointing down here. So that's how I'm going to sew this together. Lay these 2 on top of each other and sew the ends across, and then I'll show you how we make the pocket. Alright, I've sewn my pieces together with this binding strip in between, and now I'm going to turn this. And I'll press it down. And this is the way it looks when you're finished. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this over so that it looks like a bound edge at the top. And I'm going to do the same on this end, and then bring it up, and then I've got the formation for my 2 pockets. So I'll iron these and stitch in the ditch and sew these down. Alright, I have my slip pocket unit finished. Now, down the center, before I attach it to the bag, I sewed a dividing stitch so that I have 2 smaller pockets. And then I'm going to put this one on to my bag body. I've measured up 3.5 inches from the bottom. And it's going to be here, put it here, and then I'll sew across here, and then I'll have the one side of my bag finished. 4 pockets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip pocket, welt pocket, and 2 half slip pockets. So now I'm going to build this side of my purse. The first thing I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on this zipper unit. It has it goes all the way to the bottom. It has this pocket that's going over the zipper unit, and then behind it is a big, huge slip pocket. You can put a full-size iPad in that pocket. I'm going to start with the zipper part. So to begin with, I have a long piece of fabric. It's 20 inches long. And I've used the fusible interfacing on one side of it, and then I folded it in half, and my folded edge is up here. And I'm going to line up my zipper with the tab up along this edge. I'm going to pull this fabric a little bit away from the actual zipper teeth so that I don't have a problem getting the teeth and the fabric caught together when I'm using the bag. And I'm just going to sew across here. And I'll come back and I'll show you what the next step is. Now I'm going to add the flap pocket with the cover over it to my zippered piece. And I've taken a 9 by 12 inch piece here and interfaced half of it again. And now I need to turn this. And then I'm going to iron it flat and then lay it down on my zipper unit. So I have a mark at the bottom here, about 2 inches from the bottom. So this is basically going to be sitting right here. And then this flap, which is made out of a 4.5-inch piece and then bound with the little binding like we did the other thing, will lay over that like that. And so then I have a flap pocket that is protected. Things can't fall out of it so easily. So this is a really nice application for putting things in there that might be heavy, that might fall out. All right, here's something really important. I'm getting to the point where I need to trim down my zipper. Very seldom are you ever going to be able to find a zipper that's going to fit exactly in there. And always use a longer one, because then your zipper coil will go all the way out to the edge of your purse. So when I trim off this end, I don't really have anything to worry about, because that's no problem. But when I trim off this end, I want to make sure that I don't have my zipper slider over here, because if I cut that off, then I've got nothing to open and close the zipper once I finish making the purse. So I need to open this zipper up, not all the way down, or it'll slide off and then the zipper will be ruined. You will have a hard time putting the slider back on. About halfway, and then I can go ahead and I can trim this. So for the rest of my time that I am sewing, I'm going to have to be careful that I don't make it go off of either end until I sew across that with some fabric. Now that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to be sewing these pieces on the sides, on the ends here, to make it to be the width that it's supposed to be. So I won't have to worry after that. It'll be fine. Okay. So I got my strips on the side, and then I took another strip that was 4.5 inches, folded it in half, and that was for the top of this zipper. But in the meantime, I needed to have a fat piece that was the lining for my zipper pocket, and also it would be the lining for the one side of the slip pocket, the big slip pocket that's forming the back. So here's my back of my bag, and I've laid all of this zipper unit piece on top of it, and I'll stitch them together, and then basically my pockets for the outside of the bag are finished. My big slip pocket for my iPad, my zipper pocket for whatever you want to put in there, and then this pocket here. So this bag, if I have these three, and I have this one, this big one, and these two, I have 4. I have 7 pockets on the outside of this bag altogether. Okay, I'm making my pocket for my lining, and the way I did this was a 20-inch long piece. I sewed it right sides together and turned it, and it made a tube. And then I top stitched along the edges after I pressed it down flat. And now I'm placing it on my lining piece. And I've marked in here 4 3/4 of an inch from each side. And I'm going to top stitch down on these 2 marks, and then across the bottom. Then I'm going to have 6 pockets here. There'll be this one, this one, this one, and this one. And that ought to be adequate amount of pockets inside of a purse.